What's up, YouTube? So I wore this shirt all damn day. Now, I had a decent day today. My homie Steve came and picked me up and took me out to his property to do a bit more shooting. And I took my double barrel shotgun and I did both triggers at once with low brass steel shots. And quite the kick doing two triggers at once. And my homie Steve had bought some homemade blueberry wine that his friend had made. Quite delicious. We wrap up the evening's shenanigans and we're heading back into town when my homie Steve is one, speeding, and two, not wearing a seatbelt. And we got stopped by cops on the way back to my apartment. And my homie Steve got tickets for not wearing a seatbelt and for supposedly driving under the influence. When he took a breathalyzer, he was well beyond under the limit. And of course, the cops asked for my ID and after they asked for my ID, they gave it back and everything. Like, what's that between your lap? Well, this? Yeah, you know, sitting there in my homie's sitting there in my homie's truck, a little bit schnockered. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, get us off as smoothly as possible. Everything goes by smoothly. I get back to my apartment. And, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Definitely enough excitement for one evening. Now, I bought a lottery ticket. The drawing was tonight. I did not win, but that's quite alright. It's the fun of playing, is it not? A cop says to my buddy Steve, "We could have arrested you, but we're going to let you off with a warning since now it's your first time," and all this other stuff. And oh, you don't even know how relieved I was to hear that, because if my homie would have gotten arrested, then the rest of us would have been kind of SOL for a ride home and shit. Yeah. Had me, a friend of mine, Jeremy, and then my other friend Steve, pretty much, we all went out to my homie Steve's property and shot some more shotgun and some more AK-47. My homie Steve got a new clip for his gun, so the thing doesn't jam at all. It runs smoothly. The blueberry wine was exquisite. Yes. It was a sugar, yeast, and fruit mixture, yeah. And I never had homemade wine before, but that stuff, YouTube, that stuff was delicious. The stuff he had in his container was aging for about 4 months. And a couple good swigs of that. I had I'd say about 20 good swigs of that shit. And I was feeling rather, I was feeling rather drunk. We're riding home, the three of us, and we're all laughing because somebody had said the word bourgeois, and it made all three of us just start laughing. Just that moment when someone says a random word and it's just funny. And someone had said bourgeois, and then we all just started laughing. I don't remember which one of us said it, but rolling home, we're all going bourgeois, just laughing our asses off, you know. And then The laughter stops when we see a cop car pulling us over. Like, oh shit. Now, the worst that happened was the driver got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt and for supposed DUI when he was well below. Okay, he was well below the legal limit for driving. They could have arrested us, but they didn't. And here I am sitting in my homie's truck with the shotgun tucked between my legs. And, I was cooperative and all that. Even chit-chatted with one of the officers for a bit. Friendly, casual, Where y'all coming from? Oh, my friend Steve's property. We were just out shooting, and then we had a couple sips of wine. Straightforward shit like that. And they gave us all back our IDs, and we were on our way. Right after the cops left the scene, the truck wouldn't start that I was in, so me and my friend Jeremy had to give it a bit of a push before it would start. And, yeah, like I said, that's definitely enough excitement for one evening. And while we were out at my friend's property, he had a burn barrel going, and I caught the full moon underneath the burn barrel and took like 4 photos for Facebook of the fire rising and lowering, excuse me, underneath the full moon. Now I got the hiccups. Shit. But my buddy Steve has a buddy of his that makes the homemade wine, and the blueberry stuff is quite delicious. I've always wanted to try homemade wine, or mead as it's called, where you mix sugar and, sugar, yeast, and fruit, and water, and you press it, make your own wine. Yeah, this stuff was homemade, and ooh, it was delicious. Had it in one of those, you know how they have the water coolers that you press the little lever on? Those little those big blue containers on top of the water coolers they have, yeah. This is one of those big blue container thingies full of. It was just about 1/3 of the way gone, mind you. And that was before we started drinking. Now the driver didn't have that much, like 1 or 2 sips, but. And then my buddy Jeremy had like 1 or 2 sips, and I was pretty much the one consuming a good portion of it, and I got to the point where I was good and buzzed and schnockered up, and I'm like, yeah, we should probably get home, get back to reality, get back to the real world. And on our way back into town, like I said, we got pulled over by the police, and my buddy's got an AK-47 in the back of his truck, and he's got the pump shotgun in a case in the front seat. And then here I am with my double barrel shotgun sitting between my legs, and thankfully we didn't get shot, and then even more thankfully we didn't get arrested. So yeah. Every time I've had to deal with cops, I've always been super cooperative. I've never given them a reason to make their job difficult, so they've never given me a reason to make my life difficult. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. anyway, this is KingCobraJFS with another video. I thank y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all later.